Welcome to my channel. I hope you like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to crochet this beautiful little set for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old. I'm going to show you how to crochet the little cardigan sweater, the little pants, the hat, and the matching baby blanket, all in this same tutorial, so I hope you like it. Now, this little set is for 6 to 9 months, but you can easily make it smaller or bigger. In the information box below, I'll go ahead and leave you some information. And as always, if you prefer a written pattern and would like to purchase some mystery yarn bags, check out my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link to my Etsy shop in the information box below. Thank you so much for your support. Now let's get started. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the notifications bell to all notifications so that YouTube can recommend my videos. And if you like this tutorial, please hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, to begin, first I'm going to show you how to crochet the little cardigan sweater, and then we're going to make the little pants, then the little hat, and last the little blanket. So to begin here, I'll be using this 5mm hook with this number 4 yarn. Now you can also use 10 ply or Aran weight yarn. Now to begin, I have a total of 50 chains. This chain here, without stretching or anything, it's measuring about 13.25 inches, which is about 34 centimeters. Now, if your chain is off by 1 or 2 centimeters, just continue. So here, to begin, on the second chain from the hook, 1, 2, into the second chain here, make 1 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet into the next chain, 1 half double crochet into the next, and so on. For this first row, this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to make 1 half double crochet on each chain. Continue, and I'll meet you at the end of this first row. I'm here at the end of the first row. This is where I did half double crochets. I have 48 half double crochets. Now for the second row, chain 2 and turn. Now these 2 chains never count as a stitch. They're just here so that when we finish the yoke, this part here is nice and straight. Now what I'm going to do here is a total of 6 double crochets. This is going to be the first front panel. So into the first half double crochet, make a double crochet, into the next a double crochet. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now into the next, make a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Here's the front panel, and here's the first corner. Now for the sleeve, we're going to make a total of 10 double crochets. So into the next, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets. Now into the next stitch, make a V-stitch, so a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and here's the second corner. Now for the back side, I'm going to make a total of 12 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, 3, and so on until I have 12. Now continue and make these 12 double crochets. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 12 double crochets for the back side. Here's the second corner. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now into the next stitch here, make your third corner. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. And now for the second sleeve, we're going to make 10 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 double crochets. Here's the second sleeve. Now into the next stitch, make your fourth corner. So that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now here we're going to finish with these last 6 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue. Let's finish this second row. I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. I finished making these last 6 double crochets. Now, just to review, in this second row, we did a total of 6 double crochets here for the front panel. Then we did the first corner. Then we did a total of 10 double crochets for one of the sleeves. And then we did the second corner. And then for the back side, we did 12 double crochets, and then we did the third corner. For the second sleeve, we did 10 double crochets, and then we did the fourth corner, and then finished here with 6 double crochets for the second front panel. If we count each one of these double crochets, including the double crochets for each corner, you should have 52 double crochets. Now, to continue for the third row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Remember, the 2 chains never count. Now, in this third row, I'm going to make 1 double crochet into each one of these double crochets until I come to the chain 1 space here of the first corner. So beginning on top of the first double crochet, make your first double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. Inside this chain 1 space here, make a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now for the sleeves, we're going to work these 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 double crochets. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make 1, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Inside the chain 1 space, make a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now you're going to continue and work these stitches for the back side. You're going to make 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 double crochets, and inside the chain 1 space, you're going to make a V-stitch. Then continue for the sleeve and make 12 double crochets. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and inside the chain 1 space, make a V-stitch, and then finish with these last 7 double crochets. 2, 4, 6, 7. I will meet you at the end of this third row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have a total of 60 double crochets. Now from here on, we're going to be increasing 8 stitches at the end of every row because we have 4 corners, and on each corner we make 2 double crochets. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8. Now for the fourth row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Here I'm going to start you off in this row, but you're going to finish it and then do a couple more rows. So here on the fourth row, we did 2 chains, then turn. Beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 double crochets. We have the chain 1 space. Here you're going to make your V-stitch, and then you're going to continue along and work these double crochets for the sleeve, and then here you're going to make your V-stitch. For the back side, work those stitches and then a V-stitch, and then for the second sleeve, again work these stitches, then make a V-stitch, and then finish here these stitches for the front panel. At the end of this fourth row, you're going to have 68 double crochets. Now, like I said, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but all you're going to do is just repeat this same row. And remember, at the end of every row, we increase 8 stitches. Now, continue watching. I'll let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do for the yoke, so I will meet you at the end of that row. I'm here at the end of the 5th row. I have 5 rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At the end of this 5th row, I have 76 double crochets. Now, each one of the front panels has 10 and 10. Each one of the sleeves here has 18 and 18, and here for the back side I have 20. Now here for the back side, what I want you to do is, we have a total of 20 stitches. I want you to put a stitch marker into the 10th double crochet. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So on top of this 10th double crochet, put a stitch marker. Here in the back side, I'm going to make an increase. So I'm going to do this in the next row, row 6. So here, to do this last row for the yoke, in the next row I'm going to divide the sleeves, chain 2 and turn. Now here we're going to work 1 double crochet for each one of these double crochets for the front panel until we come to the chain 1 space. Into the chain 1 space, make your V-stitch. Then continue for the sleeve. $18 for the sleeve, into the chain 1 space, make a V-stitch, and then we're going to continue for the back side. We're going to work these 10 double crochets. So that's eight, 9, and into this 10th stitch where we have the stitch marker, make a double crochet increase. So make 2 double crochets there. Now continue and work these remaining double crochets, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that we finish the back side. And then into the corner, you're going to make your V-stitch, continue for the sleeve, make your V-stitch, and finish here at the end. I will meet you at the end of this 6th row to show you what we need to do next, and there's the increase. I'm here at the end of this 6th row. At the end of this 6th row, I have a total of 85 double crochets. Now, each one of the front panels has 11 double crochets. Each one of the sleeves has 20 double crochets. And then for the back side, I have 23 double crochets because here in the back side we did an increase. So that's a total of 85 double crochets at the end of the 6th row. Now we're going to divide the sleeves in the next row. So I'm going to start counting rows. This is going to be row 1. So for the first row here, we're going to chain 3 and turn. These 3 chains here now do count as a double crochet. Into the first double crochet here, make a double crochet. So here I have 2 double crochets at the beginning. Now skip 1 double crochet and into the next one. It's the 3rd double crochet if you count from the beginning. 1, 2, 3. Here make a shell. Each one of these shells is going to consist of 3 double crochets. Now skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd double crochet, make another shell. Skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, another shell. Skip 1, 2, and into the chain 1 space of this first corner, make another shell. So here for the front panel, I have 4 shells plus the 2 double crochets here at the beginning. Now to divide the first sleeve, chain 5. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip these 20 double crochets for the first sleeve, and into the second corner, into the chain 1 space, make a shell. 1, 2, 3. Now skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd double crochet here, make a shell. That's 3 double crochets, skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, same thing, make a shell. Skip 1, 2, and into the 3rd, make a shell. Skip skip 1, 2, and into the third shell, skip 1, 2, and into the third a shell, skip 1, 2, and into the third a shell, skip 1, 2, and into the third shell. Now here's the third corner, skip 1, 2, and into the chain 1 space of this third corner, make a shell. And here's the back side. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 shells for the back side. Now to divide the second sleeve, chain 5. Skip these 20 double crochets for the second sleeve, and into the fourth corner, into the chain 1 space, make a shell. Now here, skip 1, and into the second double crochet here, make a shell. Skip 1, 2, and into the third a shell. Skip 1, 2, and into the third a shell. And here, skip 1, 2, and into the third, which is the last double crochet here, make 2 double crochets. And here's the first row where we have divided the sleeves. Now each one of the front panels has 4 shells, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 double crochets. For the back side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 shells. So here's the first row, and that's what it looks like. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now into this first space here between the first shell and the 2 double crochets, insert your hook there and make a double crochet. Now go down to the row below, and into this double crochet that you see here right there, make this long double crochet. It's a normal double crochet, but we just go into the row below. Now into this space again, make a double crochet. So here we have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. Now again into the next space here, make a double crochet. Go to the row below, and into this double crochet here, make a double crochet, and then next to it again, a double crochet. One more time into the next space, make a double crochet. Go down to the row below, and here you see this double crochet. Here we were skipping 2 double crochets. So into the first double crochet here, so this one here, make a double crochet. Next to it, make a double crochet. Now into the next space, make a double crochet. Go to the row below here and make a double crochet, and next to it again, a double crochet. So here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 of these spike double crochets. Now we have the 5 chains here under the sleeve. We're going to go into the first chain and make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth chain here, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So here under the sleeve, I've increased 2 shells. Now skip these 3 double crochets for the back side, and in this space here, make a double crochet. Go down to the row below, and into this first double crochet here, make a double crochet, and right next to it, make your 3rd double crochet. Now again, into the next space, make a double crochet. Go to the row below, and into the first double crochet, make a double crochet, and next to it here, make your 3rd double crochet. This part here is the same as we did here for the front panel. you're going to continue until you come to the next 5 chains. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to work these chains and then finish this second row. Okay, I finished making these shells here for the back side. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these shells. Now I went ahead and did the same thing I did here under this first sleeve. I did here into the first chain, I did 3 double crochets, then I skipped 1, 2, 3, and into the fourth, which is the last chain, I did another shell. Now here we're going to continue for the front panel, so skip this first shell and into this space here, make a double crochet, go down to the row below, into the first double crochet, out of these 2, make a double crochet, then next to it a double crochet, and then do the same thing until we finish this second row. And now here, this is the last space, same thing. We're going to finish here with this shell. Now to finish this second row here at the end, we have the double crochet and then we have the 3 chains. Now into the space between these 2 stitches here, make a double crochet. And here is the second row. At the end of this second row, you should have 20 shells. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. Now here into this first space between the first shell and the double crochet that we did here at the end, we're going to make our stitch here. So here I'm going to make a double crochet, go down to the row below, and in this case we have the second double crochet. We had the 3 chains and then the double crochet. So into this double crochet, insert your hook and make this long double crochet, and next to it here make a double crochet. And here's the first shell for the third row. Now jump to the next space, into this space here make a double crochet, and here we have these 3 double crochets. Go to the row below and into the second double crochet here in the center, make this long double crochet, and next to it again make a double crochet. Here's the second shell. Now jump to the next space again, make a double crochet, go to the row below, we have the 3 double crochets, and into the second double crochet. Out of these 3, make your long double crochet, and next to it make your third double crochet. This is how we're going to continue until we come to the 2 shells we added under the sleeve. Let's see, go to the row below, double crochet, and then double crochet. Here for the front panel, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shells. Now we have these 2 shells that we added under the sleeve. Into the space between these 2 shells here, make a double crochet. Now go to the row of chains here, 1, 2, 3, into the second chain here, which is the middle chain, make a double crochet, and then next to it a double crochet. So this is how we're going to work here, this shell in the center. And now we're just going to continue and work the same thing for the back side. This part here is the same we did for the front panels. Into each one of the spaces, you make your double crochet, go to the row below, and into the second double crochet, make this long double crochet, and next to it make your third double crochet. This is how you're going to continue now for the third row. Here you're going to do the same thing into this space. You're going to do the same thing I did here. You're going to make this shell and then continue and finish the third row. I will meet you at the end of this row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. Here at the end, I have these 2 chains, and right in the middle between the shell here and the 2 chains into this space here, make 2 double crochets. And here's the third row. At the end of this third row, you should have 20 shells. Now for the fourth row, chain 2 and turn. Now from here on, this fourth row is the row that we're going to repeat for the body of the little sweater. So to start here, the fourth row, we chain 2 and turned. We have the first space here, make a double crochet, go down to the row below. We have these 3 double crochets into the second double crochet, insert your hook and make this second double crochet, and next to it again make your third double crochet. Again, into the next space, make a double crochet, go to the row below and make your second double crochet, next to it here your third double crochet. This is all we're going to do for this 4th row. Again, into the next space, double crochet, go to the row below, a double crochet, and then double crochet next to it, double crochet, go to the row below, into the second double crochet, make your second double crochet, and next to it again your third double crochet. This is how we're going to work these stitches under the sleeve. We're not going to make any increases or anything. We're just going to continue in the same way. Into each one of the spaces, you're going to work your stitch. Now continue like this to the end of this 4th row. I will meet you there again to show you how to end each row from here on and then how to start the next row. I'll see you then. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. Now to finish this row and all the rows to follow, this is what you're going to do. Here at the end we have the 2 chains, and in this space between the 2 chains and this last stitch here, you're going to go into this space and finish with 2 double crochets. You're always going to finish with 2 double crochets, and you're always going to start with 2 chains, just like we did here. Now at the end of this 4th row, I have 20 shells. From here on, we're always going to have 20 shells and 2 double crochets at the end. So now for the 5th row, I'm going to start you off here, chain 2 and turn. Now into the first space here, between the 2 double crochets and this first stitch pattern here, you're going to go here and make this double crochet, go to the row below and into the second double crochet, which is the middle double crochet in the previous row, make your second double crochet, then next to it make your third double crochet. Again into the next space, a double crochet, go to the row below, make this long double crochet, and then next to it here your third double crochet. And that's all we're going to do. You're just going to continue and repeat the same thing over and over, which is this row here. Now to finish this row, into this last space here, so into this space you're going to make your 2 double crochets just like we did here, and then chain 2, turn, and then repeat exactly the same thing. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of the little sweater here. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part. I have a total of 15 rows from here. This is the first row that we did with the pattern stitch. So from here up to here, there's 15 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the neckline down to this last row. It's measuring about 24 centimeters, which is about 9.5 inches. Now, if you want to make this part here longer, you can add more rows. The important thing is that however many rows that you add, make sure that you're going to start this next part on the right side. The right side of the little sweater is going to be this side. This is where we have the row of half double crochets, and as you can see, there's a little line here around the neckline. So this is going to be the right side of the baby sweater. This here is the wrong side. Now to do this next row, this is going to be the bottom of the sweater, and it's going to be the first row. I'm going to go on top of the last double crochet here, grab a loop here. I'm going to change colors, so I'm going to use this white yarn. I'm going to chain 1. Now into this same stitch here, which is the first double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next one, make a half double crochet. Then into these next 3, make 1 half double crochet. For this first row, this is all I'm going to do. I'm going to make 1 half double crochet on top of each one of these double crochets. Continue. I will meet you at the end of this row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row. Here into the second chain at the end, I did my last half double crochet. For this first row, I have 63 half double crochets. Now for the second row, we're going to chain one and turn. Now in this row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make front post and back post half double crochets. Now if you have a hard time making front post and back post half double crochets, then what you can do is maybe 2-3 rows here of half double crochets or even single crochets. That would be up to you. Now here to continue, we're going to yarn over. On top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the second one, this one here, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next one, back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet. Continue like this, alternating between front post and back post half double crochets until you come to the end. I will meet you right here. I'm here at the end of this second row where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Now this is the last stitch. On top of this last stitch, make a half double crochet. And this is how I finished the second row. You should also have 63 stitches at the end of this row. Now for the third row, we're going to chain one and turn. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next one, make a back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet, and so on. Now continue like this, alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet all the way to the end of this third row. I will meet you here to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. This is where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Now here at the end, on top of the last stitch, I did my last half double crochet. Now what we're going to do is we're going to continue along this side making half double crochets. So here to begin, don't cut your yarn or anything, just chain one, and right here is my last half double crochet. Here, insert your hook there into that space and make a half double crochet. Now half double crochet into the next row, half double crochet into the next. Here, since we had 3 rows, we have 3 half double crochets. Now we have this part here in blue. Into this next row, make 1 half double crochet. Now into the double crochets here along the side, make 2 half double crochets. So only go into the double crochets and make 2 half double crochets. Let's see how many stitches we have. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Up to the last row here of the yoke. 22. Now we're going to continue into the next row, make 1, that's 23. Into the next row, make 2, 24, 25. Into the next 1, 26. Into the next 27 and 28. Into the row of half double crochets, make 1, that's 29, and into the row of chains here, into the last chain, make 1. So here you should have 30 half double crochets. Now make sure that whatever number of half double crochets that you have here on this side, you do on this other side. That's the important thing. You could have maybe 1 or 2 extra stitches here, less or more. The important thing is that you do the same number of stitches on this other side. Now for the second row, chain 1 and turn. We're going to work our way down here. On top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into the next, make a front post half double crochet. Into the next, back post half double crochet. Now this part here is the same like we did at the bottom. So all we're going to do here is just alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet. Make sure that these stitches, again, they're nice and loose. They're not too tight. This part here tends to shrink, or at least this stitch here tends to shrink. And we don't want that to happen. Make sure that these stitches are nice and loose. You can also, if you notice that they're too tight here, you can also use a slightly bigger hook. If you notice that this part here is shrinking, you can pull on it and it should straighten out. And that's what it looks like. So continue for this second row. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now here at the end, on top of the last half double crochet here on top, make a half double crochet. I have 30 stitches at the end of this second row. Now for the third row, chain 1 and turn. Now here we're going to do the same thing we did in the second row. Beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Into the next, a front post half double crochet. Into the next, back post half double crochet. Front post, back post, and so on until we finish this third row. Continue. I will meet you here at the top to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the third row. Here at the end, I just did my last half double crochet on top of the last one. Then I cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this front panel here is all done. We did a total of 3 rows and we had a total of 30 stitches. Now we're going to go here to this side. To do this side here, we're going to start from the top to the bottom, because if we start from the bottom up, it's going to be on the wrong side. So here we're going to start into the chain space here at the end. We're going to grab a loop here. Here on this side, we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to start you off here. So here, chain 1, and into the same stitch here, which is a chain stitch, make a half double crochet. Now we're going to go into the next row and make a half double crochet. Into the next row, make 1. Then here I'm going to make 2. Then 1. Then 2. 1. 2, and so on. Here, there's no right or wrong way of doing this here. The important thing is that you make the same number of stitches that you did on this side. You're going to do it here on this side. For me, I have 30. So I'm going to make sure that I have 30 half double crochets here at the end. So continue, make these half double crochets, and I'll meet you here at the bottom to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these half double crochets for the second front panel. I have 30 stitches. Actually, I will have 30 after I do this last one. Here, to make the last one on top of the last one here, make a half double crochet. So I have 30 half double crochets. Now for row 2 and 3, you're going to do exactly what we did for the other front panel. So chain 1 and turn, beginning on top of the first half double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now into this next one, make a front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and back post half double crochet. That's how you're going to continue until you come here to the top. Here at the top, you're going to make your last half double crochet here on top of the first one that we did for the first row, then chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing for the third row. Continue. Let's finish this second front panel, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the second front panel. Here at the end, I just did my last half double crochet on top of the last stitch, cut my yarn, passed my yarn through that last loop, and this part here is done. Now, here I did not add any buttonholes because the spaces in between the rows are big enough for you to use 13, 14, or even 15 millimeter size buttons. Also, you can make this for boys and girls. So for a baby boy, we're going to put our buttons here on this side, and the buttonholes are going to be here on this side. And for baby girls is going to be the opposite. So that's what I plan to do. At the end, when I give you the finished measurements, I'll go ahead and give you the size of the buttons that I'm going to use for mine. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a collar here for this little sweater. If you want to leave it like this and just do a simple single crochet row all around, you can. What I'm going to do, like I said, is a little collar here. I've been having lots of requests for my little sweaters to have collars, so I'm going to go ahead and add a collar to this little jacket. If you don't want to, like I I said, then go ahead and continue with the sleeve. We're going to do that next. So to do the collar, I'm going to use the white yarn here, and we're going to go here. This is the facing me. This is going to be the left side. This is where I have this tail end. So we're going to go into this same last stitch where we cut the yarn to finish this first front panel. So here, insert your hook, grab a loop here. I'm using the white yarn, chain 1, and into this same stitch here, make a single crochet. Now we're going to make single crochets here along the front panel. So we're going to make 3 because we did 3 rows here for the front panel. So that's 1, 2, 3. Now we have this row of chains, which is the same chain row where we did the half double crochet row. So into these remaining stitches, you're going to make a single crochet just like this right on top. So you can see the stitch right there. So insert your hook there. It's in the same space where you did the half double crochet in the first row. So insert your hook there and make your single crochet. Now into these next 2 stitches, here's the first corner. So into these next 2 stitches, I'm going to make a single crochet decrease. Insert your hook, grab a loop, insert your hook, grab a loop, 3 loops, close. Now if we count these stitches from the beginning, I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 stitches. Now continue and make single crochets until you come to the second corner where you're going to do the same thing. You're going to make a single crochet decrease. This is going to round off our collar here. It's not going to be too squared. So we're going to come here to the second corner, and we're going to do our single crochet decrease. So here into these next 2 stitches, make a single crochet decrease, and then continue along until you come to the third corner where you're going to do the same thing into these 2. Here's the third corner, and then continue making single crochets until you come to the fourth corner where you're going to do these 2 single crochet decreases, and then continue and finish here. I will meet you at the end of this first row for the collar, and I'll let you know how many stitches I'll have here for the collar so that you can do the same number. Okay, so continue, and I'll meet you here at the end of this first row. Okay, I finished making this first row. This is where I did single crochets here for the neckline. I have a total of 49 single crochets up to this last one here at the end. Now, if you're off by 1 or 2 stitches, it's okay. Just continue with the next row. So here, to begin the second row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now, here I'm going to make 4 slip stitches. So 1 slip stitch into the first stitch, then a slip stitch into the next, slip stitch into the next, that's 3, and a slip stitch into the fourth. So I have 4 slip stitches here. Now chain 3, these 3 chains counts as 1 double crochet. So into this same space here, make a double crochet. For the collar, we're going to make increases at the end and at the beginning. So here are my increases for this second row. Now I'm going to continue and work 1 double crochet for each single crochet until I come to the other side. Right here, 4 stitches before we finish. I'll meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Up to here, I have 44 double crochets. Now into this last stitch right here, I have 3 stitches here that I'm going to leave here for the front panel. So into this last stitch here, I'm going to make my increase, so make a double crochet. So now I have 45 double crochets for the second row. Now for the third row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. These 3 chains do count as a double crochet. Now on top of this first double crochet, I'm going to make a double crochet for this third row, and from here on what I'm going to do is between the double crochets here, right in between 2 stitches, I'm going to make a double crochet. So beginning between the second and the third double crochet, make a double crochet. Between the next 2, double crochet, and so on. Here I'm going to make these double crochets like this. If you prefer to make them on top, you can. It's just going to look a little different than mine, but it should also work out. So the important thing here is that you make your increases at the end and at the beginning. Continue like this to the end of this third row. I'm here at the end of this third row. Up to here, I have 44 double crochets. Now, here at the end, we have the 3 chains into the third chain here, make 2 double crochets. And now at the end of this third row, I have 46 double crochets. Now for the fourth row, chain 3 and turn. Now beginning on top of the first double crochet, make a double crochet. Now between the next 2 double crochets, so between the second and the third right here, make a double crochet. Between the next 2 double crochet, between the next 2 double crochet, and so on. Continue like this to the end of this fourth row. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. Up to here I have 45 double crochets. Now here at the end we have the 3 chains, so into the third chain here make 2 double crochets. And here's the fourth row with a total of 47 double crochets. Now for the fifth row, chain 3 and turn. In the fifth row, we're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to make a double crochet on top of the first double crochet, and then in the middle of the next 2 double crochets, so between the second and the third here, make a double crochet. Between the next 2 double crochet, between the next 2 double crochet, and so on. Continue like this to the end of this fifth row. I'm here at the end of the fifth row. Up to here I have 46 double crochets. Now into this last stitch here, which is the 3 chains, into the third chain here at the end, we're going to make 2 double crochets. And this is how I finished the fifth row with a total of 48 double crochets. Now for the sixth row, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now what I'm going to do in this sixth row is slip stitches on top of each one of the double crochets. This is so that the top here looks nice. It's optional, you don't have to do it, but I'm going to do slip stitches. So beginning on top of the first one, make a slip stitch, on top of the next a slip stitch, on top of the next slip stitch, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue and finish the collar. So continue, I will meet you here at this other end to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making the last row here of slip stitches all around the collar. This is the last row. Here at the end, I just did my last slip stitch, cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop. Now all I need to do is just hide my end. And this smart collar style is all done, and that's what it looks like. And here's the back side. Now I also went ahead and added my buttons. Here I did 1, 2, 3, 4 buttons. Now these buttons that I'm using, these are 13mm buttons. You can also use 14 or 15mm size. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to make one of the sleeves. I went ahead and did this side here already. You're going to do it exactly in the same way here on this other side. Nothing is different. It's done exactly in the same way. So we're going to go here on the right side, and right under the sleeve right here, this is where we added the 5 chains right here next to this long double crochet, so right here, and grab a loop. For the other side, it's exactly the same. So you're going to grab a loop here. I'm using the same yarn with the 5mm hook, and here you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. These 3 chains counts as the first double crochet. So now into this same space here, make 2 more double crochets. So here's the first shell. Now I'm going to make a second shell right here. This is one of the corners, and then we did this when we divided the sleeves. So we have 3 double crochets here. So into this double crochet, we're going to make our second shell. So just insert your hook there and make 3 double crochets. Don't worry about the space here. In the next row, we're going to close that. Now we have these double crochets here for the sleeve. I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th double crochet right here, I'm going to make my 3rd shell. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, make another shell. There again, skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, make your next shell. This is how we're going to continue here all around the sleeve. So continue, I will meet you here at this end to show you how we're going to finish this first row. I'm here at this other side of the first row for this sleeve. Up to here I have 7 shells. My last shell here, I did it into this last double crochet here for the sleeve. Now I need to make one more. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to skip this double crochet, and into this space here I'm going to make my 8th shell. Now there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You can do it however way you like. The important thing is that you finish with 8 shells. So here's my 8th shell. Now to finish this row, just go into the 3rd chain here at the end and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished the first row for the sleeve with 8 shells. Now for the 2nd row, chain 3 and turn. Now since we're going to work this stitch here in the round, we're going to have to turn for every row. So chain 3, turn. Now these 3 chains here counts as your first double crochet. So now I need to make my long double crochet. So yarn over and go into this space here, insert your hook there, and make your long double crochet. Now into the same space here, make a double crochet. So here's the first stitch pattern. Double crochet, the 3 chains, this long double crochet, and right next to it the 3rd double crochet. Now jump to the next space between the next 2 shells. So right here, make your first double crochet. Now make your spike double crochet, yarn over, and we're going to make it right here. There's that double crochet, and then right next to it the 3rd double crochet. So I have 2 so far between the next 2. Now here we have the double crochets for the sleeve, so this part's going to be easy. So double crochet, yarn over, and here at the bottom we have double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. So into the center double crochet, which is the 2nd one, make your long double crochet, and next to it your 3rd double crochet. Again, between the next 2, make a double crochet, go to the row below, and into the middle double crochet. Out of these 3, make your spike double crochet, and then right next to it a double crochet, and so on. Now continue like this all around. I will meet you here at the end of this 2nd row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row. I have 8 shells all around. Now to finish this row and all the rows to follow, you're just going to go here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains and join with a slip stitch. Now to begin each row from here on, you're going to chain 3 and turn. Now remember that these 3 chains counts as your first double crochet for this stitch pattern. So to make your 2nd double crochet, which is the spike double crochet, you're going to go to the row below. In this case, it's the 2nd row. So you're going to insert your hook there, grab a loop, and make this long double crochet. Now next to it, make your 3rd double crochet. And here's the first shell. Now between the next 2, make your first double crochet, go down to the row below, which is the 2nd row here, and into the middle double crochet, which is the 2nd double crochet, make your spike double crochet, and next to it here, make a double crochet. Again, between the next 2, a double crochet, go to the row below and make a double crochet, next to it your 3rd double crochet, and that's how you're going to continue all around. Now to finish this row, you're going to go here into the 3rd chain here at the beginning, join with a slip stitch, chain 3, and then turn, and then start your next row exactly how we did it here at the beginning. And that's all you're going to do from here on. Now we're going to do a total of 16 rows, which is what I did here for this side. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows, and then we're going to do the cuff. So continue, make these 16 rows here, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making these 16 rows, so from here up to here there's 16 rows. Let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 rows here for this first sleeve. Now what I did here at the end of the 16th row is I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and then pass my yarn through that last loop. Now for the next 3 rows, I'm going to use this white yarn, and I'm using the same hook size. So to begin here, I'm going to go into the first double crochet here after we joined. So chain 1, and into this same stitch here, make a half double crochet. 1 half double crochet into the next double crochet, 1 half double crochet into the next, and so on. Here for this first row, I'm going to make half double crochets all around. So continue. I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I finished making the first row here of half double crochets for the cuff. Now up to here I have a total of 24 half double crochets. Now to finish, just go here on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch. Now for rows 2 and 3, this is what we're going to do. We're going to chain 1 and beginning into this first half double crochet, which is the same one where we joined, make a front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet. Next one, front post half double crochet. Next one, back post half double crochet, and so on. This is how you're going to continue for the second row. To finish this row, you're just going to join here to the side with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then repeat the same thing. Front post, back post, front post, back post, half double crochets. That's how we're going to work the cuff here of the little sweater. So continue, finish these 2 rows, and then I'll come back and show you the finished baby sweater. Okay, I finished making these last 2 rows here for the cuff. Here at the end, I just joined to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and the cuff along with the sleeve is all done. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing that we did here for this sleeve. You're going to do it here on this other side. It's done exactly in the same way. So here's the finished little sweater. It's all done. That's what it looks like. I already told you I used 13mm buttons here, and the buttonholes are the spaces in between the rows of half double crochets. And here's the cute little smart style collar. It's absolutely beautiful. These are the sleeves. Let me show you the back side. This is the back. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From here, the top of the neckline down to the end of the last row here, the sleeve, it's measuring about 11.5 inches, which is about 29 centimeters. From under the sleeve to the end of the sleeve, it's measuring about 7 inches, which is about 18 centimeters. Now the width of the sleeve here, just the top, it's measuring about 3.75 inches, which is about 9.5 centimeters, and the length from the top of the neckline here to the end of the last row, it's measuring about 11.25 inches, which is about 28.5 centimeters. Now the chest area, just the top, it's measuring about 10.5 inches, which is about 27 centimeters. So based on these measurements, this little jacket, coat, or sweater is for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old. Now you can make it smaller or bigger from 0 to 3 months and up to 9 to 12 months. Down here in the information box, I'm going to leave some information on how you can make it smaller or bigger, so be sure to check that out. Now this completes the little cardigan sweater, so now I'm going to show you how to make the pants. Okay, to begin, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this medium number 4 yarn. Now you can also use 10 ply or Aran weight yarn. So here, to begin, like I said, the first thing that we need to do is the waistband. And the waistband here for 6 to 9 months needs to measure about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and do a total of 68 rows, and this is how we're going to do it. We're going to chain 6, and into the second chain from the hook, I'm going to make a single crochet into the next, single crochet into the next, and into each chain 1 single crochet. There, I have 5 single crochets. Now chain 1, turn, and now repeat the same thing, but make sure to go through the back loop of each single crochet. So like this, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets, chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. This is how I'm going to make my waistband. There, now chain 1, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now if you want to make these little pants in a different size using standard size measurements and using a different hook size with different weight yarn, look in the information box. I'll go ahead and leave standard size measurements there so that you can make it smaller or bigger. Now like I said, I'm going to go ahead and make a total of 68 rows. So continue until we have 68 rows, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I finished making the waistband. I did a total of 68 rows. Now this here, without stretching or anything, it's measuring about 44 centimeters, which is about 17.25 inches. Now, if you're using standard size measurements, the important thing here is that you do the waistband in multiples of 4. We're going to join both ends, so insert your hook through the first chain stitch here, grab this loop, bring it through the front here, chain 1. Now insert your hook back again into the same stitch, and through the back loop of the first single crochet, grab a loop and make a slip stitch. Insert your hook into the next chain and through the second single crochet in the back and make a slip stitch. This is how we're going to join here, both sides. That's 4. And now we're joined, and that's what it looks like. Now we're going to make a row of single crochets. This single crochet row also needs to be in multiples of 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 1 single crochet for each row, and if I do that, at the end I'll have 68. I need 72 stitches, so into 4 of these rows I'm going to make a single crochet increase. So I'll probably do 1 here, 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 and then here. Just space them out so that they're not all in one place. So let's begin here with the row single crochets. Chain 1. Now into the next row, which is this one here, you see it here, insert your hook there and make a single crochet. Now into the next row, make a single crochet, into the next row, single crochet, and so on. I'm going to show you right about here where I'm going to do my single crochet increase so that you can do the other remaining 3. Let's see, I'll do 1 here in this row. So into this next row, make 2 single crochets. And then I'm going to continue and work 1 single crochet for each row. And then about here, I'll do another increase, and then about here, another increase, and about here towards the end, I'll do the 4th increase. So that at the end of this row single crochets, I have 72 single crochets, which is multiples of 4. That's the important thing here with this row single crochets. Continue, finish this part, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making this row of single crochets. Now I have a total of 72 single crochets at the end of this row. Here at the end, I just joined to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. I'm going to change color here. I'm going to make the rest of the pants here with this blue yarn. So make a loop here, insert your hook into the first stitch, which is the same stitch where we joined with the slip stitch. If you're not changing color, then just chain 3. Now here, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. These 3 chains here counts as your first double crochet. Into this same first stitch here, make 2 double crochets. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet, make 3 double crochets. Skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet, same thing, 3 double crochets. Continue like this to the end of this first row to this pattern. I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row to this pattern stitch. This is where I did these shells, which consist of 3 double crochets. Now up to here I have 18 shells. I'm going to skip these last 3 single crochets, and I'm going to go here where I have the 3 chains at the beginning of the row, and I'm going to join here with a slip stitch. And here is the first row. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. We're always going to turn, so chain 3, turn. Here's the first double crochet. Now in the second row, we're going to go down to the row of single crochets, and here we have 3 single crochets. So into the middle single crochet, which is the second stitch here, insert your hook and make this long double crochet. I'm going to either call it a long double crochet or a spike double crochet. I think that's what it's known as, the spike double crochet. Now into the same space here, make a double crochet. So this is what we're going to do between each shell here. So into this space, you're going to make a double crochet, then your spike double crochet, and then next to it, your third double crochet. So let me show you again. Between the next 2 insert your hook and make a double crochet. Now go to the row here of single crochets and into the center stitch, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space your third double crochet. One more time between the next two, make a double crochet, go to the row of single crochets, which is 2 rows down, 1, 2. So into the single crochet row, make this long double crochet, and into the same space your third double crochet. And this is all we're going to do for this second row. Now continue like this. I will meet you at the end of this second row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Up to here I have 18 shells. Now to finish, we have the 3 chains here at the beginning into the third chain, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish the second row. Now for the third row, chain 3 and turn. Now this third row is the row that we're always going to repeat from here on. So I already have my first double crochet. Now I need to make this long double crochet. So for the second double crochet, go down to the row of shells, this one here, and into the middle stitch, 1, 2, 3, the second double crochet here, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space here, make your third double crochet. Again, between the next 2 shells into this space here, make a double crochet, go down to the row of shells, into the middle double crochet, make your long double crochet, and into the same space your third double crochet. One more time into the next space between the next 2 shells, make your first double crochet, go down to the row shells and into the middle double crochet, make your long double crochet, and into the same space make your third double crochet. And that's all you're going to do all around for this third row. Continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this row to show you once again how to finish and how to start each row from here on. I'm here at the end of this third row. I have 18 shells. From here on, we're always going to have 18 shells. Now, to finish this row and all the rows to follow, you're just going to join here to the beginning where we have the 3 chains here into the third chain, join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this third row. Now, for the fourth row and all the rows to follow, you're just going to chain 3 and turn. Remember, these 3 chains counts as your first double crochet. So now here at the beginning, we need to go down to the row of shells here and into the second double crochet, make this long double crochet, and then next to it here, make your third double crochet. Now into the next space between the next 2 shells, make a double crochet, go down to the row of shells and into the middle stitch, which is the second double crochet, make this long double crochet, and then into the same space right next to it, make your third double crochet. One more time, into the next space, make a double crochet, go down to the row below and make your long double crochet, and then into the same space here, make your third double crochet. And that's all you're going to do for the rest of this fourth row and all the rows to follow. To finish this row, you're just going to join here to the beginning with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now, I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for these little pants, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, and all you're doing is just repeating the same row. Make sure to turn at the end of every row and then continue in that way. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part here. I have a total of 16 rows. From here up to here, there's 16 rows, and it's measuring from the waist down to the end of the last row, row 16, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to divide the legs. So to do this, remember we have a total of 18 shells. Here is the front and this is the back side. So from the back side, here's where I finished my last row, row 16. The last row I worked from the inside out. So here what I want you to do is I need you to place some stitch markers to mark the center here of the crotch area. So I want you to put a stitch marker into this first space and then into the second space so that in the middle here we have 1 shell. So we're going to have these 2 spaces here. Now I want you to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and into the 8th space put a stitch marker, and then into the next space put your second stitch marker here for the front. Now skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces for the second leg, and then I already have a stitch marker here into the next space. So For the back, we have these 2 spaces, 1 and 2. For the front, we have 1 and 2. And then for each leg here, we have 7 spaces. Or if you prefer to count your shells, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For the other leg, same thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 shells or 7 spaces. Now, what we're going to do here to begin is the following. Here I finished my 16th row. So here I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn. Now here's the back side. So make sure you're on the correct side. So here I'm just going to work this normal shell. So I'm going to go down to the row below and make my 2nd double crochet. And then next to it, make the 3rd double crochet. Now we're going to jump to the next space where I have the next stitch marker. Make your next shell. And right next to it here, make a double crochet. So I have 2 shells here for the back side. Now we're going to chain 1. Here I'm going to count the spaces. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, and into the next space, which is where I have the stitch marker, I'm going to make a shell. So same thing, double crochet, go down to the row below and make your long double crochet, and into the same space make your 3rd double crochet. Now into the next space here where I have the 2nd stitch marker, same thing, make your next shell. Now chain 1, skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. And now I already have the first shell here, so join to the beginning where I have the 3 chains here with a slip stitch. And this is how we're going to divide the legs. Now I want you to remove your stitch markers and I want you to place them here. Let me show you. And put it here where I have the 3 chains. This is the first double crochet, so put the stitch marker now here. Remove the 2nd stitch marker and into the 2nd shell, put it here where I have this double crochet. Remove the next stitch marker, and here's the 3rd shell, so put the stitch marker here into this first double crochet. So these stitch markers are going to be along the edge into the double crochets that are along the edge. Now remove the 4th stitch marker and put it here at the end. So here I am marking these 4 double crochets. So double crochet number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So here I am going to now, I joined and I'm going to go right here in the middle where I have the chain. I'm going to make a slip stitch. Make a slip stitch, and now into this double crochet, so right here, and make another slip stitch. Now here make 3 chains, and into this same space make 2 double crochets. Here's the first shell. Now we're going to jump to the next space, which is this one here, and here you're going to make your shell. And this part here is the same thing. We're going to go down to the row below and work our 2nd double crochet, and into the space the 3rd double crochet, and into the next space, same thing. These spaces here around the leg, you just continue with the pattern. So continue, work a pattern stitch here, 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 and here. I will meet you right here at the end of this first row for the right leg to show you how we're going to finish the first rows. I'm here at this other side of the first row for the right leg. Now up to here I have 8 shells. I'm going to go into this stitch marker. This is stitch marker number 1 because here's where we have the 3 chains. So into this space here I'm going to make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So here's my 9th shell for this first row. From here on we're going to have 9 shells. Now to finish we're going to go here to the 3rd chain and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finish this first row for the right leg with a total of 9 shells. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now here I need to make the second double crochet. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go right here and insert my hook where I have like the slip stitch and make this long double crochet, and right into the same space make my third double crochet. So here's the first stitch pattern. That's what it looks like. The 3 chains, the long double crochet, and then the third double crochet. Now jump to the next space, make your first double crochet, go down to the row below. Here we have the shell, so into the middle stitch, make your long double crochet, and into the same space here, your third double crochet. From here on, around the leg, we have the shells below, so that's where you're going to make that second double crochet. Like this. So continue all around. I will meet you right here at the end to show you how we're going to finish this second row. I'm here at the end of the second row here for this first leg. Now up to here I have my 9th shell to finish. I'm just going to go here into the 3rd chain, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch, and this is how I finish the second row with 9 shells all around. Now from here on, this is the row that you're going to repeat. The 3rd row, you're going to chain 3, turn, and here you're just going to go down to the row below and work your second double crochet. So go into the middle stitch here in the row below and make your long double crochet, and into the same space here make a double crochet. Now jump to the next space here, make your first double crochet, go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and then your third double crochet. This part here is exactly the same how we worked this part here. Just go all around and turn for every row. So you're just going to continue like this for the 3rd row. To finish this 3rd row from here on, you're just going to join here to the 3rd chain with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Like I said, this part here is exactly like we did here. So continue. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for the leg, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So I will meet you at the end of that row. And so far, this is what it looks like here. This part here, don't worry, there is going to be a gap, but once we're done, we're just going to join here, you know, stitch by stitch, and it'll close up. So I'll show you that part once everything is done. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. I'm almost done with the leg. I did a total of 18 rows. So from here up to here, there's 18 rows, and this part here is measuring about 18.5 centimeters, which is about 7.25 inches. If you want to make your leg longer, you can. I'm just going to leave it like this because I have the measurement that I need here. So here, to continue, at the end of the 18th row, all I did was just join to the beginning with a slip stitch, cut my yarn, and pass my yarn through that last loop. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach my yarn here to the first double crochet here. So I joined here, so into this stitch here, it doesn't really matter, just as long as it's on the right side here. Insert your hook there on top of this double crochet, grab a loop. I'm changing color to this white. I'm going to chain 1. Now here to begin, I have 3 double crochets. Here I'm going to alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet. So into this first double crochet here, make a front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, into the next front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, and so on. Continue like this, alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet all around for this first row. I will meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row where I did front post and back post half double crochets. Up to here I have 27 stitches. Now to finish this row, I'm just going to go here to the side and join with a slip stitch. Now for the second row, you're going to chain 1 and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to start with a front post half double crochet, then you're going to do a back post half double crochet, and so on. So front post, back post, front post, back post, half double crochets until you finish the second row. Then you're going to join here to the side with a slip stitch, chain one, and then repeat the same thing. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part here. I did a total of 3 rows of front post and back post half double crochets, and this part here is done. Continue watching. I'll give you the finished measurements once it's all done. Now what we're going to do here is we already finished the right side, so we're going to go here to the left side. This is the back side. So we're going to go right here where we have this stitch marker. This is stitch marker number 2 because we had numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is the second one. Insert your hook right here into this double crochet space. Now make a loop here and leave a nice little tail here because this is what we're going to use to close the gap that's going to be left here under the legs. So make sure that you leave a nice little tail like this so that after we're done we can close that gap there. Now insert your hook into this double crochet like I said, grab a loop here, bring it through the front and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to put this yarn on the inside and leave it there until we're ready to close that hole there. Now into this space here where we have the double crochet, make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now go into the next space here between these next 2 shells and make your first double crochet. Go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and next to it your third double crochet. Here this is what we're going to do all around for this first row. So continue and work your pattern stitch until you come to the last space here on this side. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to finish this first row to the second leg. I'm here at this other side of the first row to the second leg. Up to here I have 8 shells. Now here I'm going to make my last shell. So where I have this stitch marker right here, insert your hook into this space and make 3 double crochets. Now to finish this row, we're going to go here to the beginning and join with a slip stitch. And this is how I finished this first row for the second leg with a total of 9 shells. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now we already have the first double crochet to our pattern stitch. Now for the second double crochet, we're going to go here. This is where we have the chain that we did when we divided the legs. So here, insert your hook there into that space and make your second double crochet, and next to it make the third double crochet. Now jump to the next space and make a double crochet, go down to the row below and make your second double crochet, and next to it the third double crochet. From here on the pattern is the same. All you do is just continue and do the same thing we always do. So continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this second row for the second leg to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of the second row for this second leg. Up to here I have 9 shells. Now to finish, just go here to the side where we have the 3 chains and join with a slip stitch. And this is how you're going to finish each row from here on. Now to start each row, all you're going to do is chain 3 and turn. And then from here on, you're just going to continue and repeat the pattern because in the previous row here, we already have the row shell. So go down to the row below and into the middle stitch here, make this long double crochet, and then next to it your third double crochet, and then same thing into each one of the spaces. From here on, it's exactly the same thing we've been doing for this pattern stitch. So continue, finish this third row. To finish, you're just going to go here to the side with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. That's how you're going to continue for the rest of the leg. Remember, here we did a total of 18 rows, and then finished here by making 3 rows of front post and back post half double crochets. So continue, finish the second leg, and then I'll come back and show you the finished pants. I finished making the pants. I did the second leg exactly how I showed you the first one, so the little pants here are all done. Now here in the middle, I just went ahead and closed using the whip stitch. Make sure you do it on the inside. So the little pants are all done. This is the front of the little pants, and here's the back side. That's what it looks like. Now here, all I did was, I did a long chain. This is about 115 chains, and all I did was just weave it here in the center. So the little pants are all done. Now let me give you the finished measurements. From the top of the waist down to the end of the last row, it's measuring about 41 centimeters, which is about 16 inches. From the middle here, the crotch area, down to the end of the leg, it's measuring about 21.5 centimeters, which is about 8.5 inches. Now from the waist up to this part here, the crotch area, it's measuring about 21 centimeters, which is about 8.25 inches. Now I forgot to measure here the waist. It's measuring about 23.5 centimeters, which is about 9.25 inches. So based on these measurements, these little pants here are for baby boys and girls between 6 and 9 months old. Now this completes the baby pants, so now I'm going to show you how to make the little hat. To crochet this little hat, I'll be using this 5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this medium number 4 yarn. You can also use 10 ply or Aran weight yarn. Now here to begin, the first thing that we need to do is the brim. To do the brim, I have 6 chains. Into the second chain from the hook, make a single crochet. Into the next chain, a single crochet, and on each one of the chains, a single crochet. That's 3, 4, 5 single crochets. Now chain 1, turn, and we're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to make single crochets, but we're going to make these single crochets through the back loop of the single crochet. So beginning on top of the first one, through the back loop, make a single crochet into the next, single crochet into the next, and so on until you have 5 single crochets. I have my 5 single crochets. Now chain 1, turn, and repeat the same thing. This is how we're going to make our brim. I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do for the brim here, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making my brim. I did a total of 56 rows. Now this here is measuring without stretching or anything. It's measuring about 38 centimeters, which is about 15 inches. Now what we're going to do is we're going to join both sides. So here's the last row that I did. So now I'm going to insert my hook through the first chain stitch right here. So insert your hook through there, grab this loop, bring it through the front, and chain 1. Now insert your hook again through the same stitch here, through the first chain stitch, and now through the back loop of the last single crochet that I did in the last row. So grab a loop there and make a slip stitch into the next stitch, and through the back loop of the next stitch here in the back, make a slip stitch. And this is how we're going to join both sides, like this. That's 4 and 5 slip stitches. There. Now we're joined. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1, and now here we have the first chain stitch right here. Here's the tail end. So into this first stitch here, insert your hook there and make a single crochet. Now we're going to make 1 single crochet for each row. So into this next row here, make a single crochet, into the next row, single crochet into the next, and so on. This is all I'm going to do here, just 1 single crochet for each row, and at the end of this row of single crochets, I'm going to have 56 single crochets. This row here of single crochets needs to be in multiples of 4. Now continue like this. I'll meet you here at the end of this row to show you what we need to do next. I finished making this row of single crochets. Up to here I had 56 single crochets. To finish the row, all I did was just join to the first single crochet with a slip stitch, cut my yarn and pass my yarn through that last loop, and this row here is all done, and that's what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change to this white yarn. If you're not changing color, then all you need to do is just join to the first stitch with a slip stitch and then chain 3. I'm going to change to this white yarn, so I'm going to insert my hook into the first single crochet, which is the same stitch where I joined with the slip stitch. Now grab a loop here and chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now these 3 chains here counts as your first double crochet. Into this same stitch here, I'm going to make 2 double crochets. So here, including the 3 chains, I have 3 double crochets. Now skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th single crochet here, make 3 double crochets. Here we're going to make these shells of 3 double crochets. Again, skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, make another shell. So 3 double crochets. Again, skip 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th, 1 more shell. And this is all we're going to do for this first row to our pattern. Continue like this. I will meet you here at the end of this row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this first row of shells. I have a total of 14 shells up to here. Now I'm going to skip these 3 single crochets, and to finish this row I'm going to go into the 3rd chain here at the beginning, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And here's the first row with 14 shells. Now for the 2nd row, chain 3 and turn. Now what I'm going to do in this row is, in this space here, I'm going to go down to the row below. So we're going to go down 2 rows. So 1, 2. Into this row single crochets here, I have 3 single crochets. Into the middle single crochet, which is the 2nd single crochet, insert your hook and make this long double crochet. Now next to it here in the same space, make a double crochet. So here I have 3 double crochets, the 3 chains, this long double crochet, and then the double crochet that I just did. Now in between the next 2 shells, we're going to do the same thing. Make a double crochet. Now go to the row below, which is the row of single crochets, and into the middle single crochet, which is the 2nd one, make this long double crochet, and then next to it here, the 3rd double crochet. One more time. Between the next 2, make a normal double crochet, go down to the row below, the row of single crochets, into the 2nd single crochet here, make this long double crochet, and then next to it here, make your double crochet. I believe this double crochet here that I just did is also known as the spike double crochet. So it's just a long double crochet. Again, between the next 2, make a normal double crochet, go to the row below, into the 2nd single crochet, make this long double crochet, and right next to it in the same space, make your 3rd double crochet. That's all we're going to do all around for this 2nd row. Continue. I'll meet you at the end of this row. I'm here at the end of the 2nd row. Up to here I have 14 shells. Now to finish this row, we're always going to go here to the beginning where we have these 3 chains. Into the 3rd chain, insert your hook and join with a slip stitch. And here is the 2nd row. Now for the 3rd row, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now this 3rd row is the row that we're going to repeat from here on. Now if you notice in this row we have our space, the 3 chains here counts as the 1st double crochet. So we've done this stitch here. Now we need to do the long double crochet. So to do this, we have these 3 double crochets here. We have the 3 chains, then 2 double crochets. Now into the middle double crochet, out of these 3 here of the row below, insert your hook there and make your long double crochet. And into the same space here, make a normal double crochet, so the 3rd double crochet. And that's how you're going to begin each row. Now between the next 2 shells, insert your hook into the space and make a double crochet. Go down to the row below, we have 3 double crochets. Into the 2nd double crochet, insert your hook and make this long double crochet, and right to the side here, make your third double crochet. And this is all we're going to do. Again, between the next two shells, make a double crochet. Now go to the row below and into the second double crochet here, make this long double crochet, and right next to it in the same space, make your third double crochet. This is all we're going to do, and this is the row again that you're going to repeat for the pattern here for the hat. So continue like this. Finish this third row. I'll meet you here at the end to show you once again how to finish each row and how to start each row from here on. I'm here at the end of this third row to our pattern stitch here. Now up to here I have 14 shells. We're always going to have 14 shells. To finish each row from here on, you're always going to go into the third chain and join with a slip stitch. And here is the third row. Now for the fourth row, you're going to chain 3 and turn. That's how you're going to begin every row, chain 3 and turn. Now immediately into this space here, we're going to make our second double crochet because these 3 chains here counts as the first double crochet. So go to the row below. In the row below, we have 3 double crochets into the second double crochet, which is the middle stitch. Insert your hook there and make this long double crochet or this spike double crochet stitch, and next to it make a normal double crochet. And here's the first pattern stitch. Now again, between the next two, make a normal double crochet, go down to the row below, and into this row here we have 3 double crochets. Into the second double crochet, make your spike double crochet, and right next to it make a normal double crochet. That's all we're going to do here from here on. Like this. Double crochet, long double crochet, and next to it a normal double crochet. Now to finish this row, you're going to go here to the side where we have the 3 chains, join with a slip stitch, chain 3, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do here for this little hat, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I finished making this part. From here up to here, I have a total of 10 rows, and it's measuring from the top of the last row down to the bottom here of the brim. It's measuring about 14 centimeters, which is about 5.5 inches. Now we're going to start to reduce. The total height for the size that we're making needs to be between 6.5 to 7 inches. Now, if you're making this little hat for any other size, you need to start to reduce once you have about 1.5 to 2 inches left from the total height. Check out the information box for standard size measurements so that you can make this hat for any size, any age. So to do the first row of reduction, here at the end of the 10th row, I just joined to the first stitch with a slip stitch. Now for this first row reduction, chain 3 and turn. Now in this row, this is what we're going to do. I have my first double crochet here for the stitch pattern. I'm going to go to the row below here and make this long double crochet or this spike stitch, and then right next to it here make my third double crochet. So this here is a normal stitch. Now into the next space, this is where we're going to reduce. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into the space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, insert your hook into the middle stitch here at the bottom to make our spike stitch, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and next to it in the same space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 4 loops on the hook, close. So here we're going to be decreasing here. So I have 1 stitch now. Now into the next space, we're going to work the normal stitch pattern. So make a double crochet, go to the row below and make your spike stitch, and next to it here make your third double crochet. Now into the next space, we're going to do the same thing we did here into this second stitch. You're going to yarn over, insert your hook into this space, take 2 loops off, yarn over, go down to the row below and make your spike stitch where you take 2 loops off, leave 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the space again, take 2 loops off, 4 loops on the hook, close. Here's our decrease stitch. Now again into the next space, work your normal stitch, a double crochet, into the row below, your spike double crochet, and next to it your third double crochet. And then again into the next space we're going to do the reduction stitch. So this is how you're going to continue here, alternating between the normal stitch and then the reduction stitch like this. One, now into the next, the normal stitch, and so on. This is how we're going to continue all around. So continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this row to show you what we need to do next, and that's what it looks like. Reduction stitch, normal, reduction stitch, normal, and so on. I'll meet you here at the end of this first row of reduction. I'm here at the end of this first row of reduction. Now into this last space here, I did this double crochet decrease. I had to look this up. I think this is called a 3 double crochet decrease because we're going from 3 stitches to 1. So that's the closest that I can come up with as far as a description for this stitch. So we're going to call it a 3 double crochet decrease. So now to finish here, I'm going to go here to the side and join with a slip stitch. Now here at the end of this first row of reduction, I have a total of 7 normal pattern stitches and 7 of these decreasing stitches that we did. Now for the second row reduction, we're going to chain 3 and turn. Now immediately into this space here, we're going to go to the row below. Here we have 3 double crochets into the middle stitch, make your spike stitch, and then next to it your third double crochet. So this stitch here is a normal stitch. Now into the next space between the next 2 stitches here, we're going to work our 3 double crochet decrease. So insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, go down to the row below, into the middle stitch, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, next to it make your third double crochet where we're going to close through all 4 loops. And here's the 3 double crochet decrease. Now between the next 2 stitches, work your normal pattern stitch. So make a double crochet, go to the row below, make your long double crochet, next to it make your next double crochet. 3 double crochets. Now into the next space between the next 2, work your 3 double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, go down to the row below, make this long double crochet, do not close, leave 3 loops, yarn over, into the same space, make your third double crochet where you take 2 loops off and close. I'm going to show you one more time. Between the next 2, make your normal pattern stitch, so a double crochet, go down to the row below and make a double crochet or your spike double crochet, and next to it your third double crochet. Now between the next 2, work your 3 double crochet decrease. So insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, yarn over, go down to the row below, take 2 loops off, leave 3 loops, yarn over to the same space, take 2 loops off, 4 loops, close. And that's all we're going to do here for the rest of this row. We're just going to repeat the same thing we did in the first row. It's just that here we have a normal pattern stitch, decrease, normal, decrease, normal, decrease, and then you're going to do normal, decrease, normal, decrease, normal, decrease, normal, decrease, and so on. Continue. I'll meet you here at the end of this second row of decreases to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row of reduction. Here's my last 3 double crochet decrease, which becomes 1 stitch. Now to finish here, I'm going to go here where I have the 3 chains, and I'm going to join with a slip stitch. And here is the second row reduction with the same thing, same number of stitches. I have 7 of these pattern stitches, and then I have 7 of these 3 double crochet decreases, so 1 stitch here. Now for the third row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 3 and turn. Now here I'm going to go down to the row below, and I'm going to go into the center stitch and work my spike double crochet here. Right to the side here, make my third double crochet. So I have the 3 chains, my spike double crochet, and my third double crochet. Now between this pattern stitch and this double crochet decrease that we did in the previous row, I have a space. I'm going to yarn over, insert my hook into this space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, then go into the next space between this pattern stitch and this stitch reduction here, insert your hook, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Here I'm going to work this, it's like a double crochet decrease, but I'm doing it so that there is no gap in between this pattern stitch and the first one, because here now I'm going to go down to the row below into the center stitch, and I'm going to work my spike double crochet here, and then right next to it my normal double crochet. And see, that way right in the middle there's no gap. So now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to yarn over and into the next space between this pattern stitch and this reduction stitch, insert your hook into this space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, don't close this double crochet, yarn over instead and go in between the next 2 and into this space here, make your first double crochet of the pattern stitch where you close through 3 loops. We're going to call this a double crochet decrease. So now go down to the row below and make your spike double crochet and then a double crochet into the same space. And see, this is reducing it a bit further here at the top, and you don't have a gap in between these 2 pattern stitches. Again, let me show you. So between these next 2, we're going to do the double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook into this next space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, go into the next space, insert your hook into this space, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Here's our double crochet decrease. Now yarn over, go down to the row below and work your spike double crochet, and then next to it here on the same space, your 3rd double crochet. That's how we're going to continue here for this 3rd row. Continue, I'll meet you here at the end. I'm here at the end of this 3rd row reduction. Now here's my last pattern stitch. Now I have this last space here. Now into this space we're going to yarn over, insert your hook into this space, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops. Now to finish the row, we're going to go here where we have the 3 chains, and we're going to grab a loop and make a slip stitch where we close through those 2 loops. And then that way we close this center stitch here that we just did. Now at the end of this 3rd row, I have a total of 7 pattern stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then in between we have these reduction stitches. Now for the 4th row, this is going to be the last row, so we're going to chain 2. Don't turn, just chain 2. Now in this 4th row, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a double crochet decrease. So yarn over, insert your hook into the next double crochet, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook on top of the next double crochet, take 2 loops off, 3 loops on the hook, close. Now again into the next 2 stitches, repeat the same thing. Yarn over, insert your hook into the first, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, leave 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into the next, take 2 loops off, 3 loops, close. Again into the next 2, grab a loop, take 2 loops, yarn over, grab a loop, take 2 loops off, 3 loops, close. This is how I'm going to continue all around. Take 2 loops, yarn over, take 2 loops, 3 loops, close. Again, yarn over, insert your hook into the next double crochet, take 2 loops off, yarn over, take 2 loops off, 3 loops, close. Continue like this all around. I'll meet you here at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this 4th row. This is where I did these double crochet decreases. I have 10 stitches here at the end of this row. Now to finish here, I'm going to go on top of the first stitch and join with a slip stitch. Now I've cut my yarn here. I'm going to pull a loop here. I'm going to tie a loop here. Leave this loop there because this is what I'm going to use to tie my hat once I close the top here. So cut your yarn, leave a long tail here. Pass your yarn through a needle here, and we're going to go all around. We're going to skip 1 stitch, then go through with your needle. Skip one and into the next. Insert your needle all around. Like this. Now, insert your yarn here through the middle. Go on the inside here of the hat. Pull this yarn and that hole is going to close. Now with this loop that we left, tie a knot. Cut your yarn and your hat is done. And that's what it looks like here at the top. That's the top of the hat. Here's the little hat. It's all done. That's what it looks like. Here's our stitch pattern. Absolutely beautiful. And it's a reversible hat, so that's what it looks like on the inside. So the little hat is all done. This one here is for 6 to 9 months, just like the little jacket that I showed you. Here you can add a pom-pom. I have these fur pom-poms that are nice and easy to attach so that it looks kind of sort of like that. Now you can also make a pom-pom. That would be up to you. Now this completes the little hat, so now I'm going to show you how to make the baby blanket. To crochet this baby blanket, I'll be using this 5.5mm crochet hook, and today I'm using this medium number 4 yarn. Now you can use any weight yarn with any hook size, and you can make your baby blanket smaller or bigger. At the end of the tutorial, I will leave you the finished size of my baby blanket. So if you want to make your baby blanket smaller or bigger, the stitch multiple to this base chain here is multiples of 4. Now here to begin, I have 132 chains. On the 4th chain from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain. Again, make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain, make 3 double crochets. Now this is all I'm going to do for this first row. We're going to skip 3 chains, 1, 2, 3, and into the 4th chain, make your 3 double crochets. So continue like this for this first row. I will meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. And this is what it looks like. I'm here at the end of this first row. I have my last 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. Into the last chain here at the end, make 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And here's the first row, and that's what it looks like. Now for the second row, we're going to chain 2 and turn. What we're going to do here is in each one of these spaces between these shells here, we're going to make a double crochet. Then we're going to make a spike double crochet. You're going to go to the row below, which is in this case the chains, and into the center chain. Remember here we skipped 3 chains, so into the second chain, which is the center chain, grab a loop and make this long double crochet. Make sure that these 2 loops here are at the same level as the first double crochet, and then just complete your double crochet. Now make 1 more double crochet into this same space. So here we have 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. The one in the center is the spike double crochet. Now again, we have the next space, make a double crochet, then make a spike double crochet. So go down to the row below and into the second chain, insert your hook, grab a loop, and make your double crochet. Now into the same space here, make a double crochet. One more time. make a double crochet into the next space, double crochet into the second chain below, and a double crochet into the space again. And this is all we're going to do. And that's what it looks like. Let me show you one more time. Go to the next space between the two shells here, make a double crochet, make a spike double crochet by going into the second chain below, close your double crochet, and then a double crochet into the same space. And that's all we're going to do. Continue like this to the end of this second row. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this second row. Now here to finish, I have my 3 double crochets, and then I have the 3 chains here at the beginning. Right in the middle of the 3 chains and these 3 double crochets, so right here, we're going to finish this second row with 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. And this is how I finish the second row. Now for the third row, chain 2 and turn. Now into this first space right here, make a double crochet. Then you're going to go to the row below. In this case, we have these 3 double crochets, so into the middle double crochet, which is the second double crochet, insert your hook and make this second double crochet. Now next to it again, make your third double crochet. Again, let me show you. We have the next space, make a double crochet. Now go to the row below and make this spike double crochet, and then right next to it, make your third double crochet. One more time, make a double crochet, go to the row below into the second double crochet, which is the middle double crochet, make your spike double crochet, and then a double crochet next to it. And that's all. Continue like this for this third row. I will meet you at the end of this third row to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this third row. Now to finish this row, you're always going to go into this space here at the end where we have these 2 chains, and you're always going to finish with 2 double crochets at the end of every row. From here on, you're just going to continue and repeat this third row. So to start you off on the 4th row, you're going to chain 2 and turn. Now beginning into this first space here, make a double crochet, then go down to the row below and make your long double crochet, and into the same space here next to the second double crochet, make your third double crochet. Now when you finish this row, you're going to go here where we have the 2 chains, and you're going to finish exactly in the same way as I finished the third row. Into this space here, you're going to make your 2 double crochets, then chain 2, turn, and then repeat the same thing. Now I'm not sure how many rows I'm going to do from here on, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do for my baby blanket, so I will meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm almost done with my baby blanket. Look how beautiful this stitch looks. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got lots of texture, and it's absolutely easy to do, and it works up really quick. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make the border here all around. We're going to make a row of single crochets, so we're going to do that next. I have a total of 83 rows, but if you want to make more rows and make it bigger, you can. At the beginning of the video, I told you what the stitch multiple is, and if you want to also make it longer and wider, you can. I've only done 83 rows, so here we're going to start with the border. This is going to be the first row, and you can make this border on any baby blanket. The important thing is that when you make these single crochets, you make the same number of single crochets along this side, you do it on the other side, and the same thing for the top. Same number of single crochets for the top and the bottom. Also, make sure that you do exactly the same thing on each corner for each row. So here, to begin this first row, chain 1. Now we have this last double crochet for the last row that I did. Here, make 2 single crochets. Now go into the next double crochet here on the edge and make 2 single crochets. 2 single crochets into the next, 2 single crochets into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue. I'm going to make 2 single crochets on each one of these double crochets along the very edge. Continue like this. I will meet you here. This is the first corner to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making single crochets here along this side. I have a total of 84 single crochets. Now, if you're off by 1, 2, or 3 single crochets, it's okay. The important thing is that when you do the other side, you do the same number of single crochets. I have 84 for this side, so when I do the other side, I'm going to make sure to make 84 single crochets. Now, here we have the first corner. So right into this chain space, right here into this corner, make a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. This is how we're going to work each one of the corners. 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet. Now, before you continue, put a stitch marker here to mark the chain space. Now, here we have a chain space, and then we have one here on this other side, and in the middle we have this double crochet. So into the chain spaces right here, make a single crochet. And then we have this chain where we have these 3 double crochets. So into this same chain space, make a single crochet, and then again we have the 2 next chain spaces. Make a single crochet here. And then again, we have the 3 double crochet space, make 1, and then again, we have the next 2 chain 1 spaces, make 1 and 1. So we're going to go like this. 1 single crochet in where we have the 3 double crochets, and then 1 single crochet into these chain 1 spaces, and then again, 1, and then 1 into the chain 1 space, and then 1. So basically you're making a single crochet where we have the 3 double crochets and a single crochet into each one of the chain 1 spaces. Continue like this until you come here to the second corner. I'll meet you here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I'm here at the second corner. I finished making these single crochets along the bottom. For the bottom here, I have 98 single crochets. And I started counting my single crochets after my corner. So I don't count this last single crochet for the corner. I start counting right here where I did the first single crochet into the first chain 1 space. So from here up to this last one here, I have 98 single crochets. So when we do the top part of the blanket, I'm going to make sure I do 98 single crochets. Now here we have this chain here into one of the chains here. I'm going to insert my hook, and we're going to treat this as a corner. So this is going to be the second corner. So make a single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet into this stitch here. Before you continue, make sure you put a stitch marker where we did the chain. Right there. And now we're going to continue along this side. For the other side, I did 84 single crochets, so I'm going to make sure I have 84 single crochets here along this side. Now, into this space here, make 2 single crochets, and then 2 into the next row here. These here are the double crochets, so into these double crochets is where I'm making my 2 single crochets, which is the same thing we did on the other side. So 2 single crochets for each double crochet until you come here to the top. This is going to be the third corner, so I'll meet you right here. Okay, I finished making these single crochets along this side. I have 84 single crochets here. Now we have these 2 chains here into the second chain here. This is going to be the third corner. Insert your hook there and make a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Now, before you continue, put a stitch marker here to mark the chain space. And now we're going to continue along the top. Here in the top, what we're going to do is we're going to make 1 single crochet on top of each one of the double crochets. So here we have these 3. Make 3 single crochets. That's 2, 3. We have the next group of 3 double crochets. Make 3 single crochets, and so on. This is how we're going to work here the top of the baby blanket. Continue making 3 single crochets until you come here to the last group of 3 double crochets. I will meet you right here to show you how we're going to work the fourth corner. I finished making these single crochets for the top. Up to here I have 98 single crochets. Into this last space I did 2 single crochets. Now I have one last space here, so into this stitch here I'm going to make my 4th corner. So make a single crochet, chain 1, and then single crochet. And before we continue, put a stitch marker right here into the chain 1 space. Now to finish this row, go into the first single crochet and join with a slip stitch. And here's the first row. Now just to review, the top and bottom, they both have 98 single crochets, and on the sides I have 84 single crochets. Now for the second row, chain 1, and into this same stitch here make a double crochet. Double crochet into the next single crochet, double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how we're going to continue for this side until we come to the first corner. All we're doing here is 1 double crochet on top of each one of the single crochets. Continue like this, and I'll meet you right here to show you how we're going to work each one of these corners. I finished making these double crochets for this side. Here's the first corner. Up to here I have 84 double crochets. Now I have my first corner, I have a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Into the single crochet here of the corner, make a double crochet. So now for this side I have 85 double crochets. Now remove your stitch marker, and into the chain space here make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Put your stitch marker into the second double crochet out of these 3 that we made, which is the center stitch, and now we're going to continue along the bottom part of the blanket making double crochets. So 1 double crochet for each single crochet. Continue like this until you come to the second corner. I will meet you here to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these double crochets for the bottom part. Now up to here I have 99 double crochets, not counting these 3 double crochets that I did here in this corner. The stitches in between, up to here I have 99 double crochets. Now I have the second corner, I have a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Into the single crochet make a double crochet. So now here for the bottom part you should have 100 double crochets. Remove this stitch marker, and into the chain space here make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Return your stitch marker and put it back into the second double crochet out of these 3, which is a center stitch. And now we're going to continue here along this side. Now pull this stitches here like this, because the single crochet here begins here in the back. So make a double crochet here, double crochet into the next, double crochet into the next, and so on until you come to the third corner. I will meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. I finished making these double crochets for this side. Up to here I have 85 double crochets. Now I have the third corner, I have a single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Into this single crochet of this corner make a double crochet. So now here for this side I have 86 double crochets. Remove your stitch marker, and into the chain 1 space of this corner make 3 double crochets. Now put back your stitch marker to mark the second double crochet here out of these 3 that we did. And now we're going to make a double crochet into the single crochet for this corner. So right here, make a double crochet. So now continue making 1 double crochet for each single crochet for the top part until you come to the 4th corner. I will meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I finished making these double crochets for the top part. Up to here I have 99 double crochets. Now we have the 4th corner, we have the single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Into this single crochet here make a double crochet. So now for the top part you should have 100 double crochets, and into the chain 1 space of this 4th corner here make 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Now put your stitch marker into the second double crochet here out of these 3 that we just did. And now to finish, into the last single crochet of this corner right here, make a double crochet. Now to finish this row, what we're going to do is I'm going to go on top of the first double crochet. I'm going to insert my hook, and I'm going to grab a loop with the new color here, and I'm going to make my slip stitch. Now the white yarn here, we can pull this yarn so that that stitch closes. And now for the third row, we're going to chain 1. At the end of this second row where I did double crochets, and on each corner we have 3 double crochets, I have a total of 380 double crochets. Now we have, for the top and bottom, I have 100 stitches, and for the sides I have 86 and 86. That makes a total of 380 stitches. Now to continue with the third row here, I already chained 1 here. We're going to yarn over here, and we're going to go into the first double crochet. I'm going to make a front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, into the next front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet into the next, and so on. This is how I'm going to continue for this third row. I'm just going to alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet. Now continue like this. I'll meet you right here. Here's the first corner. I'll meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. Okay, I made it to the first corner. I finished making these front post and back post half double crochets for this side. Now I have the 3 double crochets that we did here in this corner. In the center stitch, I have my stitch marker. So here, what I'm going to do is this stitch here, I have a front post half double crochet. So on top of the first double crochet of these 3, make a half double crochet. Now remove your stitch marker, and into this center stitch where I had the stitch marker, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Now put back your stitch marker in the center here where we have the chain 1, and on top of the third double crochet out of the 3 for this corner, make a half double crochet. Now into the next double crochet, make a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. You're going to continue like this until you come to the second corner, where we're going to do the same thing. This is what the first corner looks like. We have a half double crochet on top of the first. In the middle double crochet, we did a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and on top of the third double crochet we did a half double crochet, and then into the next we started with a front post half double crochet. So continue like this until you come to the second corner. I will meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. I made it to the second corner. I finished making these front post and back post half double crochets for the bottom part. Now I have the second corner. We have these 3 double crochets. Now this stitch here, I did a back post half double crochet. On top of the first double crochet of these 3, make a half double crochet. Remove your stitch marker, and into this stitch here in the center, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. This part is the same that we did for the first corner. Now put back your stitch marker into the chain 1 space. Now into the third double crochet here on top, make a half double crochet. And now we have the next double crochet. I'm going to make a back post half double crochet because that's how I finished here. So I'm going to make a back post half double crochet, and then front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on until you come to the third corner. Continue. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I made it to the third corner. Now my last stitch here is a front post half double crochet. Now we have these 3 double crochets for the third corner, so on top of the first double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now remove your stitch marker here, and into this stitch here, the center stitch, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Now return your stitch marker here to the center, and on top of this third double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now to start here, this the top part, this stitch here was a front post, so I'm going to start with a front post half double crochet here, and then a back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. Continue like this until you come to the fourth corner. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I made it to the fourth corner. Now this last stitch here, it's a back post half double crochet. Now we have the next 3 double crochets here. On top of the first double crochet, make a half double crochet. Now remove the stitch marker, and into this center stitch here, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Now put back your stitch marker into the chain 1 space here, or this corner. And now we have the third double crochet, so make a half double crochet on top. Now we have the last double crochet here, so into this last double crochet, make a back post half double crochet. And if you notice, we finished exactly how we should. The first stitch here is a front post, so this last stitch needed to be a back post. If for some reason you have a front post instead of a back post, then use this stitch here, which are the chain that we did at the beginning of the second row, as a stitch, and make your back post half double crochet there, so that you end with a back post and a front post. Now to finish this row, I'm going to change color. If you're not changing color, then you're just going to go on top of the first half double crochet and join with a slip stitch, chain 1, and then start your next row with a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is only if you're not changing color. I'm going to change color, so I'm going to show you both ways. So here's my last stitch. I'm going to grab the white yarn. Oops. Grab the white yarn. Go on top of the first half double crochet, insert your hook, grab a loop with the white yarn, and join with a slip stitch. Now this blue yarn here, just pull so that that stitch there closes, and now with the white yarn, I'm going to chain 1. Now we have the first half double crochet, so with the white yarn, make a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is how we're going to continue here. 1 front post, 1 back post, half double crochet, until you come to the first corner. I will meet you here to show you how we're going to work our corners for this fourth row. I made it to the first corner. We have these 4 half double crochets. In the middle, we have our stitch marker. So here, this stitch here is a front post half double crochet. Into the next, I'm going to make a back post half double crochet. Now, into the next, make a front post half double crochet, and inside this chain 1 space where we have the stitch marker, you're going to make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Now put back your stitch marker to mark the center stitch here, and now we have the next half double crochet. So here, make a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, and then front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, and so on. You're going to continue like this now, alternating between a front post and a back post half double crochet until you come to the second corner. I will meet you there to show you what we need to do next. I made it to the second corner. Now this stitch here is a back post half double crochet. Then we have the next 4 half double crochets, and in the center here in the chain 1, we have the stitch marker. Now into this next stitch here, make a front post half double crochet, into the next back post half double crochet, remove your stitch marker, and into the chain 1 space here, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, put back your stitch marker here into the chain 1 space. Now we have the next half double crochet, so start with a back post half double crochet, then front post half double crochet, then back post, half double crochet, and then front post, half double crochet, and so on. You're going to continue like this until you come to the third corner. Now in this third corner, you're going to do the same thing we did on the first corner, and then you're going to continue until you come to the fourth corner. This fourth corner is going to be exactly like the second corner. Continue, and then I'll come back and show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this fourth row. I did the last corner here, the fourth corner. Now this last stitch here is a back post half double crochet. Now to finish this fourth row, I'm going to go here to the side where I have the chain here. I'm going to stop using the white yarn, and with the blue yarn here, I'm going to make a slip stitch. So grab a loop and make a slip stitch. Now pull the white yarn so that that stitch there closes. Now with the blue yarn, chain 1. Now for this fifth row, we're going to repeat the same thing we did in the fourth row. We're going to yarn over and then start with a front post half double crochet, then back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is how you're going to continue for this fifth row. You're just going to alternate between a front post and a back post half double crochet until you come to the first corner. I will meet you right here to show you what we need to do next. I made it to the first corner. This stitch here is a front post half double crochet, and then I have the 2 stitches here in the center. I have a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. So into this first half double crochet that's right here, make a back post half double crochet, because this is how the stitch continues. See, front post, back post. Now remove this stitch marker here, and into this chain 1 space, make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Now return your stitch marker into the chain 1 space, put your stitch marker, and now we're going to continue. Here we have this second half double crochet out of the 2 that were here in the center. So you're going to start with a back post half double crochet, and then front post half double crochet. These stitches, you're going to work them exactly how they are. A front post and a back post half double crochet. You're going to continue like this until you come to the second corner. So you're going to work these front post and back post half double crochet. Here in the second corner, you're going to make a back post half double crochet. Then you have your 2 center stitches. This stitch here is going to be a front post half double crochet. Then inside the chain 1 space, you're going to make a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet. Then put back your stitch marker into the chain 1 space, and then you're going to do a front post half double crochet, because this next one here is a back post. So back, front, and so on until you come to the third corner. Here in the third corner, you're going to do the same thing we did in the first one. This is a front post, so this is going to be a back post, and then you're going to make your V stitch of half double crochet. So half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, and then this here is going to be a back post, front, back post, front, back post, front. You're just going to continue in the same way and work these stitches how they are. There's nothing different. So you're going to continue on your own for this fifth row. I will meet you at the end to show you what we need to do next. I'm here at the end of this fifth row. Now to finish this row, I'm going to stop using the blue yarn. I'm going to grab the white yarn here, and I'm going to join to the first stitch here to the side with a slip stitch. Now pull the blue yarn here so that stitch there closes, and now with the white yarn, chain 1, and then continue and do exactly the same thing we did in the previous row. A front post half double crochet, back post half double crochet, front post half double crochet, and so on. This is all I'm going to do. When you come to the corners, since you're going to continue from here on your own, you're just going to do exactly the same thing. Now, I'm not sure exactly how many rows I'm going to do here, but continue watching. I will let you know exactly how many rows I'm going to do. So continue this way, and I'll meet you at the end of that row. Okay, I'm here at the end of the 8th row here for the border. So in total, I have 8 rows. Counting from the first row that we did of single crochets, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows here. Now, if you want to make this part here wider, you can. You can just continue make more rows. I'm just going to leave it like this. Now, here to finish, what I'm going to do here is, here's my last stitch. I need to do a back post half double crochet here. So now to finish, just go here next to the first half double crochet, and I'm going to switch color here one last time. I'm going to grab a loop here in blue and join with a slip stitch. Now with the blue yarn, I'm going to chain 3. Now I'm going to skip. Here we're going to be skipping spaces, not stitches. So skip this next space, and into the second here, this one, make a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip this next space, and into the next, make a slip stitch. Chain 3, skip this space, and into the next, a slip stitch. This is how we're going to continue until we come to the first corner. Skip this next space, and into the next space, make a slip stitch. Chain 3. Continue like this until you come to the first corner. Here we're not going to do anything differently. We're just going to continue around doing the same thing. I made it to the first corner here of this 9th row. Now here I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to skip this space, and exactly into the chain 1 space of this corner, I'm going to make a slip stitch, chain 3, skip 1 space, and into the next, make a slip stitch. From here on, it's the same thing. You're just going to continue with the same sequence all the way around. So continue for this last row. I will meet you once this row here is done to show you the finished baby blanket. Okay, I finished making the last row, row 9. This is where we did these chains with slip stitches. Here at the end, I did my last slip stitch exactly where I started. I cut my yarn and passed my yarn through that last loop, and this border is all done. I absolutely love this border. It's so easy to make, and you can make it as wide as you want or not as wide as you want. And it's a reversible border, so it looks exactly the same on both sides. Now here's one of the corners, and here's this other one. Here I just did a basic little bow with a little flower in the middle. These flowers are pre-made. I purchased these from Joann's. So here's the finished baby blanket. These are the corners. That's what they look like. And I'm so glad that I stuck with the changing color every other row. I love the way that this looks. So it's absolutely beautiful. Here's the stitch pattern. It's the Lily of the Valley stitch. I believe it's also called the Granny Spike stitch. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got lots of texture and perfect for baby blankets. So this little blanket is all done. So now let me give you the finished measurements. For the blanket, including the border, it's measuring 38 inches by 39 inches, which is about 97 centimeters by 100 centimeters. The border itself, just the border, it's measuring about 7.5 centimeters, which is about 3 inches. And like I said, you can make the border as wide as you want or not as wide. So here's the finished baby blanket. Now we have completed this little set where I have shown you how to make the little cardigan sweater, the baby pants, the little hat, and this beautiful baby blanket. So I hope you liked this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching.